Hey, what's up? GW Comedy Live. Been up for a while. And I actually have seen a pretty interesting movie. It takes the premise of Cujo, of being trapped in a car and being stalked by an animal, uh, with the movie Monkey Shines. It blends it pretty well, perfectly, and it adds in some elements from Jurassic Park, maybe even Halloween. There's some shots that you'll kind of compare to other pictures in this. Basically, in this film, the B movie playbook is pulled out and everything is thrown against the kitchen sink, and it works really well. And I'm talking about a film called Primate, came out earlier this year. Setup is what you would expect: a group of college girls decide to go to the remote part of Hawaii where one of the main heroine's father works, and he needs a chimp to help translate whatever. Now in the credits you see this chimp, basically, newspaper articles and all types of things, and very smart, very smart. It's interesting to note though too, before I go into this, that the chimp is not actually played by a chimp, played by an actual person. Pretty interesting. So we're going to go through the cast, and then we're going to go through some other things. So Johnny Sequoia plays Lucy Pinborough, one of Ben's owners. Ben is the chimp, and the daughter of Adam and older sister Erin. Jessica Alexander plays Hannah, and that's Kate's best friend. And Lucy's sometimes friend, sometimes enemy, depending on the situation. Troy Kutsu plays Adam Pinborough. He's a deaf author, and he's also uh, Hannah's father, or Lucy's father. I don't know why I said Hannah. Victoria Wyant, sorry, as Kate, Lucy's best friend. Gail Hunter is Aaron Pinborough, another one of Ben owners, and the daughter of Adam Pinborough, obviously younger sister to Lucy. Benjamin Chang as Nick, Lucy's friend and crush, and Kate's stepbrother. Charlie Mann is Drew. Deanne Simon is Brad. Now, here's what I just told you. There's no actual chimps in this. So, Michael Torres Umbra played Ben, a chimpanzee owned by Adam, Lucy, and Aaron after being... Well, I'm not going to go there. So, basically, as far as gore goes, there's a lot of it, and it's pretty shocking. In fact, within the first 2 minutes of the movie, you see a guy get his face peeled off, and then the film starts, and it's an idyllic setup. All these teens conglomerate at this house in Hawaii, and Hawaii was a perfect setting for this, actually. There's a lot to like in this. Like I said, it blends Cujo with the sense of you're being stalked and you're stuck hiding in one place, and the terror of Monkey Shines. Or you could actually attribute this film to those two films hitting the blender with Link put in the middle. And a lot of people don't know Link. Elizabeth Shue was in that film, if I remember correctly. 80s horror films. In a lot of the 80s movies, there was a few of them that had the chimpanzees. Like I said, you had Link. You had Monkey Shines, An Experiment in Fear, with the guy that played Jason Begay from Chicago PD. And he still talked like that. But this film was quite entertaining, and it was on a B movie level, and it was a pretty intense thriller, and it's actually very, very short in nature. It's like an hour and 21 minutes. But it keeps you going. As soon as the kids get to this Hawaiian, you know, Hawaiian sort of mansion house, right? It doesn't take long for the story to actually kick up. And what makes it interesting, as smart as this chimp is, and you see him in the credits, is as deadly as he turns whenever he gets infected by rabies. And it becomes an all out fight for survival. And one of the things that makes this thing interesting is it never deviates from location. Once you get to the Hawaii beach house, you're pretty much stuck there the entire duration of the film. There's things in this movie that basically you go, what is this chimp gonna do next, and how murderous is we gonna get? And it brings back the goofiness that actually this could happen, and it also, like I said, leans heavily on B movie sort of kills and schlocks. And like I said, what I liked about this film is there are callbacks to other films. The director has really studied horror and knows, shock shots. There's a scene where two girls hide in a closet, and it's very reminiscent of the Jurassic Park, Velociraptor scene, or it's very reminiscent of Halloween, you know. Um, it it's like I said, about 90 minutes long. It's in and out of the theater, and it gives you everything you want from a stupid animal slasher. And a lot of the animal slashers too, like, they don't exist anymore. Think about it. You have the Meg, which was a dumbed down PG-13 movie, which is really cool. You had, for a while there, the animal slashers were king. You had Anaconda, which is PG-13. Lake Placid was an exception, but it seems like this film wants to bring back the goofiness, the silliness, the ideas. It's pretty cool. Um, yeah, it didn't have a long release date. Actually, it was released in September, and by um, February 10th, it was already on Blu-ray and DVD and VOD. So it had a very short run at the box office. I remember seeing, advertisements for this and going, I don't know. But now it's on, like I said, Paramount Plus, and it was pretty cool. Actually, it was shot in London, so it wasn't even used it wasn't even scouted out locations for Hawaii. Um, it has a lot to like to it. Like I said, it's goofy, it's silly. It's not, it has some jump scares to it, but it's not overly, you know, overly horrifying. The other thing I like about this is if you go back to films like um, I Drink Your Blood, where it was the same premise, only humans got infected with the rabies virus. It deals with hydrophobia. Hydrophobia is a fear of water, and especially with cases of rabies, that's what you get. And I didn't know that was a real thing until my man Matt Campbell told me about that. So, you see this stuff, and it's kind of pigeon toed into the film as an underlying thing. But it was pretty fun. The gore is amazing. I mean, like I said, you see, first 5 minutes of the movie, you see a guy get his face ripped off. Then you see monkey bites. You see some slashing. A jaw is ripped off of a human being, which is pretty graphic. You see a head crushed in. Um, it gets quite brutal, you know, and it's fun to watch. As far as profanity goes and nudity, there might be a few F words sprinkled around, nothing too excessive. Nudity, there's probably none. I can guarantee you there's none in this film. This film was just an intense battle for survival, and you pair this up, like I said, with Monkey Shine's Link or Cujo, and you got yourself a double, creature feature, double feature. Um, The film was, let's see, trying to think who's all. Let's see. Was directed by Johannes Roberts, and I don't know if he did anything else noteworthy. So we're gonna see. He did micro budget horror movies, Sanitarium in 2001, Hellbreeder in 2003, Dark Hunters in 2004. Uh, he actually wrote and directed the survival horror film 47 Meters Down. That's where I know this cat. Um, 47 Meters Down was an awesome film. If you guys haven't checked it out, it had two sequels. Definitely check it out. He actually did 47 Meters Down Part 2 or Part 3. He did Welcome to Raccoon City, a film that I really like. Um, yeah, so he's done a lot of things that are mainstream. So, really cool director. I didn't know he did all this stuff, guys. Definitely cool. He also did The Strangers 2 Pray at Night, which I don't remember that film. I gotta watch that again. But he made his mark in horror cinema, obviously. So this one is it's pretty cool. It's a fun movie to watch, and like I said, it's goofy as it is gory. It's you can't take it seriously, but it is enjoyable if you like slasher films. Now, Miguel Torres Umbra, who played Ben the Chimp, does an awesome job. I mean, the way how vicious he comes across and his mannerisms as a chimp are they're pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie, and very interesting. Very interesting concept. A lot of intensity in this film. A lot of gore. I give it about an 8 out of 10. I enjoyed it. I didn't go into it expecting much, but I didn't know what to make of it. So if you're looking for, you know, you like creature features or horror and you're into something other than sharks, check out Primate. And like I said, pair that up with Link, with Elizabeth Shue, or Monkey Shines, or Cujo, and you have yourself a double feature creature feature. And I hope to see more films with animals in them because you're right, it's becoming a lost art. You know, it started with Jaws, and everybody had to make sea monster movies. Then you had a couple of them here and there, Ghost in the Darkness, and all that stuff. But it seems like it's a genre that's weaving in and out. But I enjoyed it, and I think you will too. And the gore, like I said, is top notch. The acting is pretty cool because it's grounded in reality, which must be the new thing about filmmakers. Make a crazy movie and ground it in reality so people can say, yeah, that could actually happen. I could see this happening. In fact, it's funny because there have been people that have owned monkeys that have been attacked. I mean, it's crazy. It's like, yeah, you know, there was a case a couple years ago about a girl in California who had a monkey, I believe, and she got her face ripped off, eaten off by a monkey. And I think you take, some of that stuff, hit it in a blender, put it in here, and you got yourself something. The movie is actually, like I said, very terrifyingly unsettling. Just by the way the monkey kind of goes a little psycho. There is some really cool stuff in here if you're a horror fan. How psychotic the monkey gets is how fun the film gets, basically. You know, do I think it was drawn out a bit? Yes, but I will tell you this: the people that played in it, they have a lot of potential. Great actors, all of them. So definitely check it out. I really enjoyed the flick, and I was not expecting much. Um, so yeah, it's on Paramount. You want to check it out? I thought it was pretty cool. Anyway, that's my movie pick for Sunday. I hope you guys like it and enjoy.